What's happening, people? Hope everyone's well. Episode 5
It is, yeah.
of the Nichols Brothers podcast.
Yeah. Yes, I say it's a funny one again. We sort of I think the two weekly works. Yeah, it's a strange. Once again, there's nothing planned. It's
No,
just sort of like I think we spoke about trying to plan it, but it seems a bit better just to do it natural.
yeah, it might come in time that we'll start doing themes and things like that. But for the time being, we're just going to pretty much show cans of Red Bull and Monster,
Mainly Red Bull.
and just have a chinwag,
Mm.
same as what we've been doing. Once again, we've had a few messages. A few people seem to be enjoying it. I've had a couple of people get hold of me and sort of praise us for what we're doing, which we obviously appreciate as always. And we'll just keep going.
Yeah, it's a funny one because even just one message changes your whole opinion of
Definitely.
it. Because sometimes I'll watch it and obviously we've left it 2 weeks. I think after a week it was like maybe 200 views, 250 views, something like that, and you start thinking, oh, is that enough? Like,
Mm.
which it is really when you think
You don't
about
want
like
to be spoiled, yeah.
our friends and stuff. I'm never expecting like thousands or like even over 1,000. The first one done over 1,000, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm sitting there going like, is it worth it then? But then that one message can change that whole thing. Where you're like,
Mm.
oh no, okay, I feel good about that now. Like, I'm happy to
Yeah.
carry on.
Because as we said from the start, the whole point is to try and help people make a difference.
Mm.
So yeah, as I've always said, if you can reach one person, it makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Which
Yeah,
at the moment, that's what we're doing.
I was saying to Jack the other day as well about that I'm finding myself uh, like wanting to reaching out more because I'm thinking I can't come in here and preach about this and that and then
Yeah,
not be there to message people and that.
100%.
So there's been a couple of people I've seen going through stuff and I've messaged just to sort of say like I'm here if you need anything
Mm-hmm.
or if you want to chat. So it's definitely sort of helping me as well.
Yeah,
It's almost like our own version of like a therapy session almost to
yeah.
sit here
And
and chat.
I've had to do it the other way, as we spoke about in the
Mm.
last one, is that I had to reach out because of my own issues that I've been going through. I've been back into a deep depression again, one of the worst, possibly the worst ever.
Mm.
But I took action. So, like
Yeah.
you just said, I can't preach to other people. This is what you need to do when I'm not doing it. So, I've reached out to people, and I'm climbing.
Mm.
I'm climbing back out the hole. I'm having a go at least, rather than just sitting there and not doing anything about it. I am taking action. I spoke about last time that I was starting the counselling, and I've done my first counselling session, and it went well. And I'm back in there again next week. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm taking action. I've reached out. I'm trying to do bits to get better.
Yeah, I think one of the main things for me is trying to like capitalize on them moments. Do you know when you have that moment of like I want to do better,
Yeah.
I want to feel better, and sometimes it could last an hour and then you just
Mhm.
forget and you carry on about your normal life.
Yeah.
It's trying to I'm just trying to capitalize on that moment when I do feel like I need to do better. I should then do it when I
Yeah.
think it rather than like I'll get round to it.
I don't know whether I spoke about before, but it's the short term, long term goals.
Mm.
As far as the short term being, I want to order a pizza and sit here and not do anything. And the short term goal of that is nice because you get to sit there and just chill and have something that tastes nice. But the long term of that isn't good.
No.
And obviously the other way of it, when you think long term, well, no, what I need to do is start dieting now, reach out, start doing counselling or whatever form of help you decide. And the short term of that isn't nice because you're having to do stuff you don't want to do. I don't want to go through stuff. I don't want to open that box
Mm.
inside me. But the long term of it is that eventually, once I do get to there, I can look back and all of that short term stuff is irrelevant by then
Yeah.
because I've hit my long term goal and all of the suffering and the pain that I've had to do along that journey is now worthwhile.
Yeah, it's definitely I don't know. Each day that comes by at the moment, it's just trying to figure out
Mm.
what I want to do. Um, but it's hard. It's like I don't know. Sometimes I wish I could live in someone's mind where they don't have them feelings, where they do just they're good
Yeah.
and they're solid workers and they're happy with their life and they're happy in their own space.
Mm.
Um,
Do they exist though? Maybe people are just better at putting on a front.
yeah, maybe, but then I think there is. I genuinely believe there is some people that can just
They're just happy.
they just embrace each
Yeah.
day. They just wake up and they go away, and it's just normal to them. They
Mhm.
don't think like, oh, I'm worrying about this or like.
Yeah.
There's certain people that I talk to, and not in like a nasty way, but to me, their worries are quite little things, and obviously
Mhm.
that's different to everyone. Because then there'd be some people that I talk to that my things are little things to them.
Yeah. It's all relevant. Yeah.
Um, But then you do just get them odd people that when I think about what their worries are, I'm like, they really ain't that bad, and they will get over them in a
Yeah.
couple of days. It's just a matter of like, it's a real short term.
Hmm.
I don't know what to do about this. I could do this. All right, I'll try that, and
Yeah.
that's it done, and then move on. So I find it strange to think like there's people that live like that. I wish I could live like that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. There is a lot of jealousy and bitterness towards people that seem to have it figured out. I think both of us are similar though in that neither of us are particularly ambitious.
No.
You know what I mean? Like we, even as kid, we never was like those people that's like, right, I need to move out, buy a house, I need to get married, have children, have to do
Mm.
all of these things. We are both very sort of like, I'm just going with the ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm never really been that driven, and
Yeah.
maybe that's a bad thing. But I've always, I'm not really that bothered.
I
I
was
don't.
chatting to Dad the other day, and I said that I was like, I'm just at a point where I just want an easy life.
Yeah.
So I just want to find a job that like I like my job now, but
Hmm.
obviously like not I'm going to go into detail, but it's just a bit unsteady and stuff at
Yeah.
the moment, or like weather and
Whether,
different
yeah.
things. So it's like since November, I can't say I've worked a full month,
Mm.
and that's obviously then money coming into it. Money's a big thing where you're worrying
Yeah.
about that, and I just sort of want like an easy life where I'm just like, right, this is what I do, these are my hours, this is what I get paid at the end of the month,
Yeah.
this is where I live.
Bills are paid. This is
Yeah,
what I got
bills are
left.
paid. Like, this is what money I've got left. What can I save? What can I do with
Yeah.
this? Like, I can't remember the last time I treated myself to something to like
Mm.
clothes or obviously the thing I can be bad for is maybe buying a takeaway when I shouldn't, but that's because that borderline becomes affordable. I can spend £10 on a
Yeah.
takeaway rather than £50 on a new pair of
Hmm.
shoes. Or so it's just I think my main thing at the moment is just like a comfort. I just want to feel comfortable.
Yeah, and I can echo that. Weather, obviously, we did the same job, so yeah, weather's affected me, and obviously injuries that's put me out of work,
Mm.
and not being paid while I'm off. So it's sort of the physical pain of the injuries, along with the emotional pain of yeah, not being able to just get ahead, just like you say, get a solid bit of work behind me,
Yeah.
start building up the bank account, be able to go and do stuff that I want to do without having to count pennies. Um, and it is just very frustrating.
Yeah, and I just borderline sort of feel embarrassed sometimes. That even if it's my friends that I can talk to about anything, I will tell them, but like, they'll want to do certain things, or do you
Mm.
want to go and do this, or go there, and I'm sort of like looking at money and looking at my time and thinking like, annoyingly, when they want to do things, maybe I have got that fucking day's work, and
Yeah.
then I'm sort of like, well, I need that money, but then I
Hmm.
haven't got money to do this thing, and so it becomes like a real, nasty circle.
Yeah.
That you just fall into, and it's a strange. And I think the other thing that I say about being motivated is I'm noticing more and more. Like I say, I've never been bothered about my weight and stuff, but more from a health point of view. Obviously, at
Yeah.
one point I was motivated enough that I did lose like a couple of stone. I just felt a bit better. I didn't
Hmm.
really look any different. I was still big,
Yeah. But
but I
how you
just
feel is more important.
yeah, that's what I mean. But I just felt better. I knew I was better.
Yeah.
I could walk a little bit further. I could run a little bit
Hmm.
longer. Like, and I'm struggling to find that motivation at the moment to do that, to the point that I'm waking up certain mornings thinking like, why do I feel like shit? Just
Yeah.
physically feel like shit. Just neck hurts or
Hmm.
headache or. And then I think this morning was like the first time I woke up. I realised I'm like, well, it's because I'm not eating right. I'm
Yeah.
not drinking the right things, and I'm not exercising enough. Like even
Keep
straight.
showing off
Yeah,
our
I know.
empty
Yeah.
drinks.
But like, you know what I mean? Even when I did like lose a few stone a little while ago, I was still like having the odd Red Bull and
Yeah.
stuff. But I was just eating plainer meals, and I
Hmm.
was looking at the saturates in it, being like, well, I won't have that. And
Yeah.
whereas obviously I'm getting bad again for just like pigging out sort of thing. Like we was literally saying earlier, I might only have one meal in the day,
Yeah.
but it's one big
Takeaway or
it's a
yeah.
big pizza or something, and then so it's just it's sort of like the first time I woke up and thought like I need to start watching what I'm eating again because it's
Yeah.
making me feel shit when I wake up.
It does make a difference, well, and I know from dieting in the past when you're not just the working out. Obviously, working out is amazing, that endorphin rush
Mm.
and the release that you get from it. But eating the correct foods at the correct time of the day and drinking the right things. Now, I've done it, and I can tell you how much it improves your mental health.
Yeah,
So it's almost as if I know the answers. I've got it there. I've done it before. I know that it works, but finding the motivation to do it is the
yeah,
issue. And I sort of had a bit of a new year, new me moment at the turn of the new year because my injury had sorted itself out to a certain extent. Or I thought it had at least.
yeah,
And I was returning to work. So the idea was, right, get back to work, pick up. I went and got protein powder. I went and got my pre-workout stuff. I went and sort of writ out some workouts and things like that. Foods, started ordering. Like from companies and that send you like healthy food and had a meal plan, and it just didn't last long.
mm.
Unlike in the past, because you have to do it for a substantial amount of time. You can't solve things overnight. It goes without saying. So I'd sort of got that motivation again, and I was excited before it had even begun. I already felt better because I knew what the prospect, and again, it's the long-term goals that was going to get me there, and I just didn't keep it up.
Yeah.
Once again, the mental health got the better of me, and the demons started telling me to all the takeaway because I know I can't drink,
Mm.
obviously. So I have to go, right, well, I can't drink, so what should I do instead? Or I'll smoke a fag and I'll order a pizza
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'll have caffeine. You know what I mean? Because I can't touch alcohol, I do unfortunately have to find other things. And it's like most people out there, you have a stressful day at work and you go to the pub and have a couple of pints
Mm.
and it makes you feel better. I don't have that as an option. So for me, it's like, right, well, I'm just going to order shit food. I'm just going to have a pizza and I'm going to sit there and drink a Monster. And then before you know it, like you say, you wake up and go, oh, I feel sluggish.
Yeah.
Why have I done that again?
Yeah. Saying even just it messes with your sleeping. I'm noticing like I can't lie, obviously I know you're worse than me, but like I can't remember the last time I got a full night's sleep.
No,
And even when you do, sometimes I'll get like a deep hour, 2 hours of sleep, and then I wake up feeling worse than what I did
definitely
before
not.
I went to sleep. Um, and then yeah, it's little things like even obviously going football on a Saturday. Like I haven't been playing recently because I sort of spoke to them and just sort of said like I know I haven't got the fitness. I know I
Yeah.
can't do the running anymore. And then even that makes you feel shit because I'm sort of like, but at one point I could. I knew I had at least 20 minutes of being able to run around and kick a ball about, whereas now I'm at a point where I'm not, I can't even help that team now. And
Yeah.
then you go and watch it and you miss it, and that motivation's there for a little bit. We're like, right, I've got to fucking sort myself out
Mm.
and get back into this. And then, like I say, it drops off and you just go back to your normal life.
It is hard and there's an age thing. And obviously, I don't want to start preaching that we're old because there's going to be people that will
Yeah,
older
yeah,
than me, in your 20s, you know what I mean? But in comparison to when we were younger, there is a lot you can't do. And I think a lot of people can relate to that
mm,
of any age, that there is a frustration, football being a good example of at one point you could put a ball at your feet, have a very good game for 90 minutes, no problem. And
mm,
then now you try and do the exact same thing and your body physically can't do it. There's a lot of frustration and even confusion there. Like, why can't I do this now?
yeah.
This used to be bread and butter. And now all of a sudden I can't do it.
Especially because for me, luckily, like touch wood, I've never had injuries. I've never had a serious no, but I'm saying
Yeah.
as in like even now
No, you
there's a
haven't.
few boys in the team and stuff that they're not necessarily injuries, but they'll pick up things on a
Little
weekly
knocks,
basis
yeah.
where they're like, am I going to recover by the next Saturday?
Mm,
And even if they feel like they are, there's a good chance it's only at 70%.
yeah.
And then they're running about again. And then it's down to 60, and you just
Mm-hmm.
slowly wear that away. Whereas I'm quite lucky that even with my weight, I've never had a bad injury.
Yeah.
I've never had a thing that stopped me playing. The most I might have is I'll have a bit of a tight muscle where I'm
Yeah,
kicking a
yeah.
ball over and over at training or something like that. So I think that's what's more frustrating is I'm like, my body's strong enough to be
Mm-hmm.
able to do it. I'm just not healthy enough.
Yeah.
And then that's where it comes into the maybe I do have to make a difference, not being bothered about how I look. It
Mm,
comes down to, well, I have still got to make a difference to my health because we
yeah.
are getting older and it is going to get to a point where it's like, you can't get healthy anymore.
No.
You can at any age, obviously, but like
Yeah.
it gets
It
harder
becomes
and
harder,
harder. Yeah.
definitely.
So it's trying to sort of fight past that and mentally.
Finding motivation is one of the hardest things to do. And
Mm,
especially for a long period of time. Like you just said, I can get motivated by a movie.
yeah.
I can sit there and watch Rocky.
Music.
Yeah. Rocky, the film and the music will
Yeah.
get me
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
And it's what I used to listen to when I was working out.
Mm,
So that can get me like, yeah, I want to do this. Next thing you know, I'm on Google and I'm ordering stuff or I'm researching stuff of what to eat, what workouts to do for
mm,
this and specific stuff, and then it just doesn't last. And I've had it before over time. Obviously, like we spoke about before, when I lost about 4.5 stone, I got into really good shape. That's the longest I ever managed to keep up a regime for,
yeah.
and then it still sort of fell away in the end. And trying to get back to that seems impossible. I've
Mm,
tried I don't know how many times, and unfortunately, I just keep failing at a certain point and giving up because it's so much easier to give up and carry on.
yeah.
Just a terrible attitude, but
Yeah, I can't say I'm really jealous about anyone, and that's
no,
like honest. I'm not. I don't care if you've got a fancy car, a big
no,
house,
I'm
what
not
money
saying.
you've got. I'm never jealous about anyone. I'd say the only thing I'm jealous about is someone that can be motivated enough that that's just part of their daily life.
Yeah,
I mean, I like my mate Jack. Obviously, some people will know Jack. Obviously, to him, it's not a big thing. He just does it,
mm.
and that's that. I wouldn't even. I'm not saying I'm jealous of Jack for that, but I'm jealous
Yeah,
of that mindset where
yeah,
it's like,
definitely.
how do you just in your daily life, you're like, well, I'll go to work, then I go gym,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll go home and I'll eat and go to bed, and that's just normal to them. Whereas for
Yeah,
me, it's like a real thing where I'd be like, I could go gym. Do I want to do that though? Like, can I be
yeah.
bothered?
A lot of it I do think comes down to genetics because I done serious workouts. I was really hitting it hard. Yet the results were nothing like some people.
Yeah,
The amounts that I was doing, the period of time I was doing it for, I was having my old rest day and that, but it was pretty much 5 days a week. I was doing 90-minute workout, I was doing it properly. But did I see abs? Nope.
No.
Nothing, you know what I mean? Whereas other people that just they're born with abs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That they already have a frame and a certain shape for it and that, and again, injury free. So like you were saying, I get a little bit jealous of that because I pick up injuries. I'm very fragile.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's genetics, I don't know whether that's damage I've done to my body
Oh
with
yeah, it's
drink.
definitely a bit of wear and tear, isn't
Yeah.
it? Just from football over the years
I
and
hit
from
it far too
drinking.
hard, as a lot of kids did. I was never a great footballer. I was a good footballer, but never great. I never went to any high levels or anything like that.
Wasn't it? So I think that's the mistake you made is rather than getting your feel out of playing for a team like most people did when you were younger, because you played for the school and stuff, obviously.
Yeah, I
but
played
like,
for a couple of teams, but
as
not
in,
really.
obviously, I joined a team when I was like 6.
Yeah.
And was playing, so rather than playing every day, I'd be like, well, I've got training this day and a game on that day.
Yeah, I agree.
I think sometimes you would sort of be like, well, I don't want to play for a team, I just want to play football. I just want to go out and play every day. So you couldn't be bothered to surrender that time to go and play for a team. It was I'd just get my mates out.
Yeah.
But then that backfired because you were overplaying every day.
Yeah, and it was every day. It was every break time, every lunch time, and then we'd be organising it to meet up after school, and we'd be down there for hours. A Saturday and a Sunday was as soon as we were up in the morning till we had to come home.
And
for
a lot
dinner.
of people would leave and come back, and you'd be there the whole time.
I was obsessed. I had to have a ball at my feet at all times. I was never happy without playing football.
Yeah.
When people didn't turn up and there was only 3 of us, and people were like, "Should we swerve it then?" I'm like, "No." And then I've lost count how many times I played on my own.
Yeah.
Do it all the time.
Yeah, I did do that.
Yeah, we go out there and play football by
especially because
myself.
we had the green out on the front. If people didn't come out, I would just go out and.
And I'd even get injured then.
Yeah.
Kicking the ball by myself,
Yeah.
just kicking it against the wall, a little bit of one touch, you know what I mean? Left foot, right foot, standard little drills, and hamstring would go. I've pretty much pulled everything from my waist down at some point or another.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And it just took its toll after a while, and then I had to stop. And obviously I stopped again because of drink. Because from, as you'll remember, from 17, 18, when we used to go for them kickabout, I'd be going down with a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
Instead of having a bottle of water, I'd have a bottle of whiskey, and I didn't think anything of it.
No.
But again, that's the insanity of alcoholism, that I'm not stretching, I'm not warming up. I'm just caning a bottle of whiskey, kicking a ball around, and I'm wondering why I'm tearing my quad for the 5th time.
Yeah. And so I think for me, especially with football now, the biggest motivation for me, the one thing that does stick in my mind that makes me want to change is like not anyone specifically, but I look at certain people that are playing, whether it's like the friend we'll play another team and they'll play 90 minutes for that other team.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like they're really bad at football, but they can run for 90 minutes, and it's just that busy player where you go, well, they can just run and be in the way. Whether they can pass, shoot, whatever, they're just there running.
Yeah.
They're dragging someone away, and it's like when, as far as like a footballing brain, you're looking at it going, well, the reason they put them on is because they ain't touching the ball, but they're dragging people away constantly, and they're making that space for other people. Yeah. And then that's when it annoys me. I'm like, I'm nowhere near like an amazing footballer or a good footballer, but I'm good enough that if I could get fit, I could do better than that person.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the frustration. And then people in the team, I think I said before, like the other week, people in the team are saying, I'm wasting it.
Yeah, because you're not
coming
getting
down
in shape.
and not getting in shape, and I'm just coming down. And I've said to him, like, don't put me in if you can't use me, sort of thing, because I've just sort of accepted like I can't run like other people. So even if there's someone that ain't as good but they can run for 90 minutes, then put them in over me. It's going to work better. And then it's frustrating.
It is hard as well because I'm a big advocate for sport and sport with mental health.
Yeah.
I think if you or hobby, we spoke about before, hobbies in general.
It's a good release. Yeah.
Hobbies is definitely massive. You need to find stuff to a good use of your time and something that you can get passionate about as well. Not just something you're going through the motions, but if you find passion in that, then obviously it can bring something out in you. And sport is a huge one. And when football didn't work out, obviously I done boxing for a little while as well, and I know you came briefly. But boxing was a massive release for me as far as going down there and training, and that was what I got into great shape.
Well, that's what I remember trying boxing at a young age. Obviously, I went for a little while. So I went down to like the hall and stuff and was boxing with them, and that's one of them. There's a few things I tried, even like jiu-jitsu and things like that. I went down and done that weekly for a bit with like people we knew, and it's sort of like it's frustrating now I'm older to think why didn't I as a kid have the attention span to stick at that rather than just wanting to mess around with my mates all the time. I could have seen my mates anyway, but one day a week just spared that time to go there and do that. And then I think about I probably might not be in the best shape still, but I'll definitely be in better shape and more capable of doing
the
things.
discipline that comes with that as well.
Yeah.
What you have to do. I've got mates of mine that have done, whether it be combat sports, because it's like it's just you. You know what I mean? So you have to concentrate. You can't rely on a team. And I've got friends of mine that carried it on from childhood up till now, and they're just better than I am in most ways. There's a discipline that comes with it, and it definitely stunted my ego going down there, and I'm still drinking at the time as well, but going down there and sparring with people and that, and some really good boxers as well. The type of people, if they wanted to, could have ripped my head off. But obviously, it's sort of touch sparring, and they're trying to help me as the newcomer and that. And it was just a great experience. And again, it was injuries that stopped me from carrying on with that because I loved that and wanted to keep going. So it is that frustration of it wasn't even me making a choice to go, oh, I've had enough.
Yeah.
It was injuries and stuff stopping me from going. It was sort of the choice was taken out of my hands. And that's what frustrates me. I'd give anything to go back. And I'm not saying I won't football or boxing or something one day, but unfortunately, I'm just very injury prone.
Yeah.
And then that really affects my mental health because I do get that motivation to start doing something. I get the setback, and then I'm like, oh, here we go again. And then I've got to try and rebuild physically and mentally.
Yeah. I say, especially like I say, with the team I play for now, I get on with everyone, and I think that's what, even for them, I know a lot of them have said it to me where it frustrates them, where they want me to come down, they want me to be there, and we do talk as if it's we, it's not the team, it's we, and like, and you have that sort of like cringy side of football. It is you and the fucking boys, and you're down and you're playing, and it's wicked, but there's just them frustrations where you're like, I wish I could do more to help them. I'm coming down and I am helping, but I'm not because I'm not playing, so there's still a player down.
Yeah, it's a unique thing, the difference between a team sport and a one-on-one thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you decide not to go training or not to really put a shift in, all you're doing is hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas when it becomes to a team sport like football and that,
You're
if you don't put
letting everyone else down.
you're letting your whole team down, and that is another whole subject. You know what I mean? That can really make you feel bad.
Yeah.
Because you know the frustration when it's somebody else.
100%. Yeah. That's the one thing I'll give myself is whether I'm putting in like or not putting. I always put in effort, but as in like the amount of effort I can put in is not the same as others. But I will turn up to training every week.
Yeah.
And like there'll be the odd week I'll miss just because it might be work or something like that. But it's very rare that I do. I'm normally there every week. So even though I'm not playing, I'm still turning up, and it's numbers to help them because I'll try and help in any way I can. But at the same time, there's still that frustration of, well, I'm not a bad player and I could be playing, but I'm just not motivated enough at the moment to get fit enough to be able to play.
Yeah. The thing is, as well, is that I know, obviously, I come and helped out with your team for a little while and that, and it just didn't quite work out, so I had to stop. But it's the morale that you brought to the team as well. You know, but everyone appreciated your personality, so you being there made a big difference, even if it wasn't on the pitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why people sort of wanted you there, and it was a good group of lads. And like you say, that I think the frustration comes out of that, as far as you want to do it for them as much as you do for yourself.
Yeah. So I mean, because even Saturday I still went down there. Obviously didn't play, but I'm there and I chat to everyone. I say hello and I'll shout every now and then if I see something I can help with something. Then I'll shout and be like, do this, do that.
They want and need you there.
Yeah, and I think that's where the frustration is. And obviously I'm using my personal things as an example, but for other people it'd be like many things. Whether that is some people might find it work as a big team they work with, and they're just not quite there pulling their weight at the moment because the motivation isn't there, or it could in so many different ways it works. But personally for me at the moment it's football, and there is a frustration, and then that's one of them, like I said earlier, that's them little worries. To someone else it's sort of like, well, it's football, it doesn't matter. And then that's where personally it comes down to, well, how much does that matter to you? How much do you want to make a change? Can you get yourself motivated? And if you do, what are you going to do to change that?
It's hard. You've got these people out there like a David Goggins, who I've obviously got a lot of respect for. I don't know if people know who he is, but like motivational, and he's an amazing man. But I don't know, it's hard. It's easy to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I could sit here right now, or I could have done it when I wasn't up. That I'd sort of figured it out a little bit, and I was doing what I was meant to be doing. It's easy for me to sit there and go, listen, all you got to do is eat these foods at this time, and do this, and work out now, and then do that. Make sure you get this amount of sleep and that amount of water and all that. But then doing it is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easy to lay out the blueprint. You see these people online all the time, these motivators and that, and I respect the hell out of them. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, all right, mate.
There is an ignorance to that where I think, well, you've been depressed. Like, it's not one of them people that claim they haven't. They will openly say, I've been in the darkest place possible and I've managed to get out of it. But then it's that ignorance of in their head. They're like, well, if I manage to do it, you can.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like. When I'm sort of like, no, it doesn't work like that. Everyone is so unique and different in their own way. You cannot just say to someone, well, it worked for me, so it has to work for you.
And that's why we've always been really conscious of that. I've said from the beginning, I haven't got it all figured out.
No,
and that's why I've been so honest about me going counselling. I would never have admitted that a few years ago. But again, I've got to be honest with myself, with you, and with the people watching. I can't come on here and tell people how to get better if I'm not going to do it myself.
No.
So it is difficult. It's so difficult. There's ups and downs all the time.
Yeah, that's why I feel like this. Obviously, last week was you sort of admitting where you was, and obviously I know I said I was struggling, but then like now this is sort of my week to be like, yeah, no, actually,
Mm.
just to let everyone know and you
Yeah.
know, like, yes, I am feeling down, and blah blah, but I can't preach if I'm not
No.
gonna acknowledge. I think that's the main thing is like acknowledging why.
The thing is, as well, is a week from now or 2 weeks from now, when we next do it, you don't know where we're going to be. That's
Yeah,
such a long time. That's many days, many hours away where things could be better, could be worse, could be the same. You don't know. So eventually, it'll be nice for us to put the work in, practice what we preach,
yeah,
and eventually be able to do a video and go, look, this is what we've done, this is how we're feeling now, and hopefully give people that inspiration. But for the time being, all we want to do is let people know that they're not alone.
yeah,
That there's people out there that are struggling and feeling similar to us. Then all we're really doing is just breaking it down, talking about it, make it like humanizing it.
mm.
Know what I mean? It's so common. So many of us feel this way. It's not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed.
And especially that I don't agree with the whole men have it worse, all that
No.
nonsense you see online, but it is a big thing as a man that you don't I'm getting all emotional.
No.
Right?
Come on, mate. Come on, mate.
Yeah, it is a big thing as a man that like you don't tend to express your emotions
No.
much, and I think we said that the other week as well, where like the difference in groups is
Mhm.
girls have always been a bit more open.
Yeah.
Um, but then at the same time, we're not sitting here saying that any gender you are or whatever is got it different to anyone
Not at
else.
all.
Whoever you are, whatever you are,
No. We're all
that
human.
everyone is exactly the same in
Yeah.
that sense.
Yeah. We're all human. We all have emotions and feelings and whatever your lifestyle or yeah, what you do for work or country you're from, all of that stuff is irrelevant. All of us have our own struggles. It's all relative to who we are and what we are. And yeah, again, we're just trying to make it, trying to vocalize it, let people know that it's normal.
Yeah, yeah. Because even as stupid as I've been playing like FIFA online,
Yeah,
but it's been with like there's been a few like there's like an Austrian kid and then there's like a few kids from America and stuff. And I always because like Connor was asking questions at work as to like what do they say and that are they like are they this person are they that and then I was thinking about it and I was like no I was like
yeah,
they're not I was like we're all just we are pretty much the same. It's a group of
yeah,
lads playing a game online.
yeah.
Like there is no like political views. There's no this is
No,
how I'm feeling today or this is what's going on or anyone getting angry at anyone. It's
yeah,
just sort of like there's frustration within the game. But like I
yeah.
was just thinking like that we're on completely different parts of the world. Yeah, when it
But
comes
the
to just
game has
playing
brought
a
you
game,
together.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're playing this game and there's all these there's a kid from Canada.
yeah.
Like it's just they're all over and it's like there's other kids from the UK
Mm.
playing and there's just no like arguments. There's no difference in personalities in
No,
that sense. It's just sort of like we're people playing a game. It
yeah.
is what it is.
And it's a good analogy because essentially, like you're saying, is that it's all those different people from different walks of life. But right now, all that matters is this
Yeah,
game.
we're all
We're
just
all coming together for this game,
The
and that's
only
what
stress for that 10 minutes while
is
we're
that.
talking is let's win this game.
Yeah,
Or why are you not playing good enough?
yeah,
It's as silly as that.
yeah. And that's what we're doing as far as like we're saying, all different walks of life, all different types of people. But we're using mental health as far as bringing everyone together
Yeah.
under the same umbrella.
Yeah,
It's
say
like,
on the off chance this somehow reaches someone in Australia.
yeah,
And there's just an odd person watching in Australia
Mm.
and they're thinking, well, there's two British kids there
Mm.
on the complete opposite side of the world that are feeling exactly the same as how
yeah.
I'm feeling
Got similar
or similar.
lives. Yeah,
And it's sort of like it's crazy to think that it doesn't matter who you are or where you are.
no.
We are people at the end of the day. We feel these things.
And I've seen that firsthand from going to my meetings that I go to,
Mm.
as far as the different people that come in. It's insane, and I'll see and hear people, and sometimes have that judgment of going, oh, look, listen, I'm not really going to get much from what it might be a middle-aged woman, upper class, and I'm thinking, well, that's not me. I'm
Yeah.
literally the opposite of that person. We're not going to have anything in common. I'll listen anyway. And next thing you know, you think everything was relevant. We may come from different places and have different upbringings and different lives now, but we've suffered in the same way. We've felt the same feelings.
Yeah.
We've both felt guilt, paranoia, anxiety, depression. So there isn't any difference.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone has the same feelings. It's just depending on the situation.
Mm.
That is the only thing that is different. Like we say, everyone's unique and everyone's different, and everyone will have different situations, but the feelings are always the same.
Yeah.
It's just about a different situation
And how you deal with it,
and how you deal with it.
how you act because of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's people that get bullied that grow up to be a certain kind of person, and other people that get bullied that grow up to be totally different.
Yeah, because even like the bullying, like obviously that's something we could get onto another time, but that's a massive thing because obviously I know as much as you. For me, it's like I was never a bully, and I never got bullied, but there
No.
was definitely times that I thought I probably did push a certain person too
Yeah.
much. I thought it was friendly, but then when you are the bully, do you
Mm.
realise that sometimes?
I think
'Cause-
I got perceived as a bully in my drinking days without meaning to. Mine was banter, having a laugh, thinking that we were on that same wavelength without knowing actually I was attacking people, and obviously I've made amends for that. But yeah, it is hard, and it makes me feel sick thinking that I might have hurt people's feelings without meaning to.
Yeah, definitely.
So physically, no, I've never bullied, but yeah, my words unfortunately have hurt people without me meaning. I've definitely not gone out of my way to try and attack people
No.
to hurt them, but certainly as a drinker, I didn't realise.
But no, there's been loads of times that I'll be joking around and I'll push it too far without realising, and then I'll realise that I've hurt someone.
Yeah, I've made people cry.
Or I've upset people, and your heart sinks because you're like, I'm not this person.
No.
I hate them people. It was never meant that way, but you just never know how it's coming across. But I think that's definitely, if people want to hear us talk about, that's a massive one for mental health. The amount of people that have lost their lives to bullying, of all ages, kids right up to people in the workplace.
People in the public eye as well. Like the one, Caroline Flack.
Oh, it's mad.
And I remember watching the documentary come out, and it was harrowing. It really, really affected me watching it. I don't know the woman, other than what I've seen on the
Especially that
telly.
whole Love Island thing itself. I'm pretty sure they lost. Obviously, I don't know for definite, but I'm sure there was a woman that was on it that killed herself.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And that was just purely down to people watching it and being like, I don't like this woman. And then you go out your way to say stuff online without realising there's millions of people saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Just keep your opinion to yourself.
Yeah, everyone gets it, obviously. Once you're in the public eye, people they want attention, I suppose. I don't know. Or maybe they're struggling themselves. I don't want to judge them. I'll say that they're horrible people.
It's like getting away from your real life to nag at someone else, and it's like, it's not worth it. Deal with your problems.
Yeah, it's really sad, and again, it comes down to how it affects you. There's people out there, celebrities and that get it every day, that it probably doesn't bother. Ricky Gervais is a good example of someone that brushes stuff off, and he's obviously just got that strong mentality to not care, but there's other people that it gets to them, and Caroline Flack, just because it's sort of recent and so sad.
Yeah.
Like I say, I watched the thing and it was heartbreaking. I couldn't believe what they put her through and where it took her to that place. You know what I mean? It's just horrible. I don't really know what else to say about it. But
to know that you've been at that place yourself without people pushing you there, the thought of then having people on top of you while feeling that way as well.
Imagine every time you picked up your phone. Like I say, forgetting about celebrities now, but like we were speaking of before, just at school. Imagine if you don't enjoy your school life and you're being bullied, and then you come home, and every time you pick up your phone, you got messages from people. I couldn't even imagine
Facebook or something like that, and it's people just, you look disgusting today, you look fat today, your clothes are horrible, your family.
I couldn't even imagine what that would do, because for a certain point, you might be able to front it out and shake it off and act like you're not bothered about it, but it's still going to be inside you.
I was going to say, I think the reason we've been so lucky in the sense of not being bullied, I guess, is because we can just front it out.
I'm too good. We were too good at coming back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You throw some.
I'm like that. Come on.
Yeah. You would be sitting there going, try it, because I'm ready to go. Like.
Yeah, and you catch me in the wrong mood as well, and I'll tell you to pieces.
Yeah, Christ. That's, I mean, and that's when I say that's when we borderline bullies, because you've caught me in the wrong mood, and then we take it out on the wrong person. Where it's like, you've just got the full brunt of my mood now.
But unfortunately, not everybody has the ability to come back.
No.
Whether that's like we used it mentally, we would use our mouths, but then there was other people that would use their fists. You know what I mean? Like, and then you got people that can't do either.
Yeah.
They just have to take it. They don't have an out, and it's just horrible that people have to live through that.
Yeah. Well, we'll call it there for this week. But yeah, that's definitely bullying. It's definitely something we'll touch on eventually, because I think that's a really good topic, and I know a lot of people, doesn't matter what age, like we said, have either been through it or are going through it.
Yeah.
And it literally doesn't matter how old you are. Just people just in everyday life.
Yeah. And again, people obviously just give us a message or whatever. We've mentioned a few things that we could talk about. So if you want one of the things that we've mentioned in our videos, then say, or if you've got your own ideas, then say, whatever it is, get hold of us, let us know. For the time being, obviously, we're doing what we're doing as far as we're just having a chin wag and seeing where it goes. But if people want specifics, then we will. And other than that, the email is still open if people want to get hold of me and send us a message. And I'm a quick replier. You know what I mean? It's not one of those things you've got to sit there. The few people that have messaged have said that, funny enough, that I've got back to them straight away. It's like, I'll always make time. That's why we're doing it. So,
and obviously I'm going to start uploading these on YouTube, but they'll still be on Facebook anyway. So
it'll be on both,
Yeah, so
but we'd appreciate if people would like on both. And
that's it. Yeah, but obviously, like people on my Instagram and stuff that I don't have on Facebook and that will probably watch it on YouTube. It won't really get many views on that side of things. I'm just going to put it on there anyway, just because of the options there. But yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, love you all the bits.